Hello, my name's Ed and I'm project leader here on Goose Hill at Sizewell C. It's a large area, 98 hectares in size, and we've had an entire range of archaeology throughout the entire woods, varying across all the periods of history. One area we're working in particular at the minute is the prehistoric, and I'd like to show you some of the features we've got that we're currently excavating on that, and along with the finds. Hello Josh, what have you found?
Hello. So what we've found here is a rather nice little flint scraper. And we know it's a scraper because it's been worked. And as you can see around the edge here, it's been napped multiple times, retouched as we like to call it. And it makes a nice sharp edge. And if you turn it over, you can see this rather nice bulb rounded area, which is like the bulb of percussion to show that they've hit this off a larger piece of flint. Yeah, there you are.
Brilliant, thank you very much. A fantastic example of a small tool from the Bronze Age period, which these pits we are currently excavating behind me are related to. Some have been purposely dug by Bronze Age people, some are more natural hollows or tree throws where old trees have died, and the whole remained is then used as a scrape for activities such as cooking and dumping lovely stuff for us to find. Thank you Josh, that's brilliant.
That's all right, thank you.
Over here we've got some more we're excavating in the same little patch of pits. And what have you found, Jack?
I found a nice bit of pottery in this Bronze Age pit.
Lovely. So this is Bronze Age pottery or prehistoric pottery. You can tell it's fairly crudely made, but for the period is actually really, really good. Obviously it's really good as being datable evidence out of these pits, but also you can get nicer pieces related to the beaker period, where you've got small beaker type vessels about that size forming small vessels for drinking, cooking, etc.
Mainly across Sizewell we've been getting pit clusters where you get nice bits of beaker pottery packed with flint debitage, scrapers, blades. And what's interesting about that is we're mainly getting flint tools and not bronze tools, which is a common misconception.
Brilliant, thank you very much Jack. So let's go from the Bronze Age now to the Iron Age. So moving forward in time from the Bronze Age, we are now into the Iron Age, and we are surrounded in shot with Iron Age features. We have a fairly large Iron Age ring ditch around the outside of where we're standing, with again a series of Iron Age pits producing quite a lot of nice Iron Age pottery. Excitingly, on the inside of the ditch, we have what we think is an in situ funerary pyre. So a funerary pyre is a timber built structure purposely placed in an area where you're going to cremate someone. What we find in the archaeological context is the remains of the burning, so a large rectangular shaped black material of the burnt wood, and in amongst that we have identified already some of the post holes that would have formed the structure in the first place. Alongside the burnt charcoal material and remains of the wood, we've also found small flecks of bone, currently too small to diagnose as human, but we are treating it as human for the time being. So from the Iron Age, we're going to go back in time slightly to the Neolithic, because we found a very exciting find in the ring ditch itself. Hello Hannah, what have you found?
So in this section of the ring ditch behind me, we have found this beautiful early Neolithic polished axe head. This dates to about 3,000 years earlier than the Iron Age, so it's a bit of a mystery how it's ended up here. Sometimes we find that objects like this just get incorporated in ditches or pits in the landscape, but it's possible that it was deliberately placed here, which would be very exciting. This is made out of flint. Flint, when you make an object out of it, is normally very sharp and pointed, but this has been polished to a really lovely smooth surface. This is a process that would have taken hundreds of hours, so someone's put a lot of time and effort into this object, and it's just a lovely thing to hold.
That is beautiful. Thank you for showing me that. So now we're going to move forward in time from the Neolithic all the way to the Romans. So we've now entered the Roman period in Goose Hill Woods, and what I'm standing on beneath me here is quite a vast amount of Roman salt works that we've discovered in the work so far. The initial deposits, what I'm stood on here, we'll go into investigate at a later date. It looks like to be a really exciting opportunity to understand salt production in the Roman period in Suffolk. All of the material we've got behind currently on the surface is the clay settling tanks. They would have looked something like an old farmhouse tank kitchen sink, and it's within this here been evaporating salt water or brackish water to leaving the salt behind to then be sold at a market or for just larger industrial trade across Britain. The clay settling tanks or briquetage looks incredibly unique to the area, so it could be a fantastic or very exciting opportunity to learn about how Roman saltworks is happening in this postcode alone. Now if you follow me, we're going to head even further in time. So here is one of the many hollows that we've had in the woods that have contained World War II activity from people training in the area. What have we found on this one?
Yeah, so this one is mostly interesting because it's got a decent amount of some sort of burning activity happening here, which we're not really quite sure about. But it is pits like these that we've found a whole bunch of more personal items relating to the soldiers training here. So we've got helmets coming out of them, compasses, beer bottles, some with liquid still in it, whole pits filled with just food rations. It's really amazing, the material we've taken out.
It's brilliant, and it is fantastic, this area of Goose Hill Woods, how we've got 6,000 years of continuous archaeology all the way from the Neolithic up to World War II, and it's something that's been brilliant to work on.